Hello, Space Cadets, and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. My name is Ignatius, my pronouns are he, him, his, but you might also know me as Gay Alien King on TikTok. Before I get started, I'd like to apologize for any background noise. I don't have an actual place to record right now, what with working on moving, and I just don't have the space right now. So I'm working with what I have for the moment. Hopefully, in the future, I'll have better equipment to continue making videos for y'all. But for now, this is what we've got. Anyway, on to the video. So on my TikTok, I get a lot of questions, and one of the questions I get asked very frequently is, how did I know I was trans? Well, I've been racking my brain trying to figure out a good way to tell you all this story. And I figured that this was a really good way to go about it. So, for my first video, that's what I'm going to be telling you. I'm going to tell you the story of how I figured out that I was trans. So, growing up, I always kind of knew that I wasn't comfortable as a female. I never really liked girly things a whole lot. Like, I still like some of the styles, but most of the time, I just wanted to be a boy. I looking at the characters that I liked the best in different TV shows and movies, it was always a guy character. The Red Power Ranger was always my favorite, and I would get into constant arguments with my friends on whether or not I could be the Red Power Ranger because he's a boy. Ty in the original Digimon series was another big favorite of mine just because he always knew what to do no matter how bad things got. He always had a solution and a plan. And that was really cool to me because I had no idea what I was doing growing up. I don't really know what I'm doing now either, but hey, we're here. Ash in Pokemon, even though he's a bit of an idiot. But and that's just the first three that come to mind. There's countless others that I looked up to and wanted to emulate as a kid. And as I grew up, as I got older, I realized, hey, no one else seems to be feeling this way. No one else wants to look like their best friend who happens to be a guy. No one else wants to dress like a boy and keeps talking about changing their name to a traditionally guy's name. And I didn't grow up in the most supportive family. My mom wasn't the greatest to me. Technically, neither of my parents were all that great. So I just kind of repressed it and tried to be the perfect daughter that they wanted. That didn't work. And so it took me a really long time to accept pretty much of anything about myself. Fast forward to 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. And I came out as gender fluid. And I was out as gender fluid for a little while before I kind of started repressing that too because it was weird. And no one really supported it for me. So I kind of was just like, okay, fine, shove that away again. I'm a girl. And none of that really changed until recently. In 2019, I came out of the closet as gender fluid again, and I ordered a couple binders off of GC2B, which that's who I recommend if you're looking for a good binder. They're great. Anyway, senseless plug on that in a minute. uh, and when the binders came in, I immediately wanted to put one on, see how it felt. And I had this moment of gender euphoria where I felt so comfortable and so happy. I didn't want to take it off. I did not want, when I went to bed, My husband had to literally say, if you do not take it off, I will cut it off of you while you sleep. And that was enough for me to be like, okay, yeah, I should probably take this thing off because it's not safe to sleep in a binder. But that kind of sparked another huge question for me because as soon as I took the binder off, I was uncomfortable again. And I didn't like it. So it sparked another huge question of what is happening? So the next day, I was talking to a few friends of mine on Discord, and I asked one of them who has been out as non binary for a while, hey, how do I know if I'm trans? And they kind of laughed at me a bit about it. Like, they dragged me out of the closet kicking and screaming. Like, it was a lot in a 48-hour period. I had to go to work that night. I was working overnights at the time. And working overnights, being awake while everyone else is asleep, is a really good time to just be alone with your thoughts and stew on them. Excuse me for a moment, I need a drink. Tea. And so I'm sitting there watching some show. It was probably DuckTales, if I'm being honest, between making my rounds at this group home that I worked at. And it all kind of just hits me all at once. And I typed up a huge thing that I posted on Instagram, and it was a lot. As soon as I got done posting it, I went into the bathroom and cried for about 30 minutes. Got out of there, wrote my chosen name and pronouns on a sticky note, which I then stuck to my shirt because I knew as soon as other people started showing up for work that it would be a whole thing, and I wasn't about to deal with it. I don't work there now because a lot of things happened that I'm not going to get into in this video. Maybe another, but not this one. So I went home and talked to my husband, told him how I was feeling, and he was really accepting, really, really supportive. He still is really, really supportive. He actually helps me take my shots because I'm a big baby. And I wasn't expecting that because my first husband wasn't supportive. He told me flat out that if I ever came out as trans, we would get a divorce because he's not gay. And man, did that hit my self-esteem. But we're in a better place now, and that's what matters. That said, I was 26 when I came out. I am a living testament to the fact that there is no time limit on this stuff. There is no need to rush into coming out. Now, that's not to say, like, I am so happy. Things could be a little bit better for me. Like, I could, I would love to be able to afford top surgery soon, but that's unrealistic at the time. But I'm doing really well. That's not to say that things haven't been difficult here and there. When I first came out, there was a lot of pushback from my family, from my mother, from my grandmother. But they're both trying now to be better because I flat out said, look, you can either accept me as I am, or you can never talk to me again. Either way, I'm fine. Now, if you are a young person, I don't recommend doing that, especially if you still live with your parents. I'll get into best ways to come out in another video. That's one that I've got planned for in the future. And I've had, my share of interactions with bigoted people in my town and in the area because I live in a rural area where people are very closed-minded, very ignorant to the world around them. And it's a challenge to go out into public and get misgendered and get called all these names. It does affect me. It does hurt a little bit. But I know who I am. This is who I'm supposed to be. And no one can change that. So I'm not going to change myself for anyone else. I want to be comfortable with who I am, and no one else has to like it. So that's pretty much it. I've known pretty much my whole life. It was just a long time coming to figure it out because I was a big baby who didn't want to accept it, who wanted to live for other people's happiness rather than his own. But we're better now, and that's what matters. So that's that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. And remember, you are worthy, you matter, you are enough, and you are loved. Until next time, everyone. Bye.